earth does the word nourishment mean? For years, the word nourishment was synonymous with nutrition for me. But as I move into my own type of September reset, I'm really honing in on this word and how I can flip the switch on the word nourishment. So nourishment meant what I ate. Is this you? Was this you? Do you actually think of nourishment as nutrition? And if so, I'd love to know. So pop it in the comments. Tell me what you think the word nourish actually means to you. I mean, there's so many definitions, and yes, it can mean nutrition, but we can all have our own take on this really what I think is like a rich and lovely word, nourishment. Today, I want to break this word down because I believe if I apply the word nourish to all different areas of my life, this is going to lead me down a path of more richness and more fulfillment in midlife. This third chapter, because to me, menopause health and wellness is all about leading this rich, full life, because I don't know how much time that I have left and I want to make the most of it. If you're circling back here with me, thank you so much because I appreciate you for clicking play. And if you are new here, hi, my name is Tanya, and I really believe that menopause should not be paved with food rules and rules of aging. I want to bust that up with conversations that we can have here on this YouTube channel. So if this sounds like something you're interested in, please subscribe and stick around. Please don't take my videos as medical advice. They are for information and conversation only. So please reach out to a licensed care professional if you think you have a health condition, a mental health condition, or an eating disorder. Okay, for years, I mean years, I was all about what I ate. What I ate only, and also how much I ate or how little I ate, really with my energy swinging towards like how little I should eat, because I was never in a petite little body. I was never in a smaller size body. Actually, I shouldn't say that. There were times that I sort of got myself down to the smaller size body, but I really focused on food. Food was the only path to health. The word nourishment to me always meant nutrition from my 20s to my 40s. In my 20s, I was teaching fitness classes. So of course, that's all I thought about was how I looked and my body, and was I capable enough, and did I look like I played the part, and did I belong there? And into my 40s, when I was really, oh my gosh, when I think about the goal that I had for my body in my 40s was to see an ab, like how superficial, but anywho, again, it was focused on food because I was an avid dieter, and I mistook restrictive eating for nutrition. What is that saying? When you know better, you do better, I guess. I feel like I know better for me. I'm not saying I know better for you. It wasn't until I started working on my food relationship that the bigger picture of nourishment really hit home for me. And I realized that if I had started this type of journey in my 20s, I mean, hindsight is 2020, I realized that if I had this picture of nourishment in my head in my 20s, my path would have been a whole lot different. But that's how it goes. If you're reflecting on life in your 50s or 60s, we can see where maybe we could have veered left. Instead, we went right. And this is where we try to tell our kids what to do, but they don't want to listen. And neither did we. But have you ever felt physically full, but you totally longed for something more? And I don't just mean the physically full of having a salad, so your stomach is filled up, but you're longing for a piece of pizza or a potato because you're actually not physically, cellularly nourished. I mean that maybe you've had a satiating meal, or maybe you've had an experience where it should have been a beautiful social experience with your meal, but something was off. You longed for something more. You longed for social connection in that meal, or you didn't want to be there, so you were out of alignment in a relationship or relationships with the people that you might have been sharing the meal with. So basically, I think what I'm asking is, have you ever felt unfulfilled in your life? And dollars to donuts, 99% of us are going to say yes, because that's normal. We don't always feel like every moment we're living like fulfilled and aligned. And if you do, write the word unicorn down in the comments, because I'm going to tell you, I think you're a unicorn. But maybe as a unicorn, you can teach me something. I have and still do have moments, big moments, where I feel unfulfilled. And this is part of realizing that as you work on your food relationship, nutrition, nourishment, health, wellness, all of it is more than just macronutrients, micronutrients. Did you get enough fiber? Well, that actually is important if you can't poop, but it's more than that. Being nourished applies to all the areas of our life. It really does. Because if you are not fulfilled in your career, how does that affect other areas of your life? And how does that drag your energy down? And so this September, and hopefully even in January when the New Year stuff starts flowing on in, I'm going to focus on nourishment. I'm going to use that word to start to create more awareness of how I feel in my day-to-day life and where things might go sideways as I feel less nourished. Here's the deal. When I feel like things are not going well, I still can turn to food for comfort. And a lot of the time, I don't realize I'm doing that. That's where I know that my nervous system is in a state of dysregulation where I'm working on autopilot and going to my go-to, which is food. If I'm not tuned in to what nourishes me or what I might need in that day, whether it is a break from work, a walk, getting out in the sun, then I can very easily tip the scale into serious stress and overwhelm where I feel like the only option is the cupboard. And it's like I can see myself from a bird's eye view doing the thing, eating, and I know I don't need the food, but it's just it's been such a part of my life and part of my own food relationship that it's very easy to go back to that behavior. Now this summer things were not really good for me. We all have periods where life can suck. And so life kind of sucked this summer. And if you caught my last video, I talked a little bit about how my partner was questioning his life with me, questioning his own life, going through some health issues. While that was happening, what I did was go between overeating and not caring, and also very much under eating and not being able to nourish myself. And as the dust settled, I started to work things out in my own mind and use this sort of bird's eye view of watching myself. And that's part of awareness. I learned this from mindful eating, being aware of what it is I'm doing. I started to see how I was really not taking care of myself, and that type of energy was not fulfilling me, nor was it actually going to be productive to get out of a rut. So as I wound the summer down, I decided, what am I going to focus on in September? And here I am. I'm not going to talk about like a diet reset, although I do want to dig more into finding wellness practices that fit me and maybe fit you. I had to focus on this whole concept of nourishment. What is it that I need to feel fulfilled and just really just get a jump start on being a little more balanced? Now, I'm not going to tell you that I actually believe that that word balance is something that is achievable. We all go in and out of what I guess we can call it balance. We always have to course correct. And so that's what I think this is. I'm doing a little course correction where I know that my rebellious eating, it's currently not serving me. It wasn't serving me this summer as far as my mood and even working on my own self-esteem. So when I think of this word nourish, how am I going to nourish, say, the physical part of me? It is going to be going back and seeing where I am really feeding my body and how my energy levels are and how satisfied I am and how I can really find, for lack of a better term, the middle of the road between being nourished nutrition-wise but also being nourished soul-wise. Maybe I need to get back on track in feeding myself in both ways, in the nutritious way, but in the soul way. And it doesn't always have to be with food. You see, to me, nourishment can be in so many different areas of our life. We just have to hone in on one and start small. If you found me in other places, you will know that I am big on the word fullness, because man, I really want to live a rich and full life. And I said that at the beginning of the video. So how do we actually figure out where we want to nourish ourselves? Let's talk about this. First, we're going to tap into our own awareness of ourselves. This takes practice. So if you're not used to seeing yourself and what you're doing, see if you can take a step back and reflect on something that might have happened in the day that you autopilot reacted. My autopilot for some things is to flip my lid and get super emotional, especially with my partner. I had to stop because none of this was productive. So what I chose to do was step back and write it all out. Now, I know for a lot of you, journaling is not like super fun, but a little bit of a brain dump on all the things that are overwhelming you can be really helpful. And from there, you can start to pull out the pieces of where you want to nourish yourself. Career, financial health, physical health. What about your emotions? What about your spirituality? Friendships, joy, connectedness, parenting, grandparenting. There's so many areas that we can look at. We have lots of areas where we may feel unfulfilled, and you don't have to work on all of them. Pick the most important. right now. If you need help with that, of course, I can help you because I have a resource in the description down below. Or you can find yourself a little bit of space, grab yourself a piece of paper or a journal and write down all the areas in your life that you would like to look at right now. You don't have to choose any, but you can write down the areas that you feel unfulfilled or unnourished right now. If it is health, and pick something really small, like your sleep, like your hydration, or like me, what am I doing when I'm overeating? Am I nourishing myself? That's really how I got to the word nourish. It's my job to figure out how I'm going to lead a fulfilled and rich life in my 50s and hopefully beyond, because we're aging. Oh my gosh, and we're so lucky to be doing it. All right, unicorns, you have an area that you want to nourish in your life. Pop it below in the comments. I'd love to hear it. If it's spirituality, emotions, parenting, gosh, it could even be that you want to be more intellectually nourished. That's okay. That's cool. You do you, boo. Pop it below. Until next time.